friends, and welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you are back. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. If you are new, my name is Rabbit and my pronouns are they, them, and I'm really stoked about today's video because I had a very creative week last week. I just got really into watching a bunch of spooky movies that I've never seen before, or that I wanted to watch again because they're classics for me. So I've never seen Trick or Treat before. I finally watched it. I loved it. The hot werewolf ladies were one of my favorite things ever. I thought it was so freaking cool. That's not what this is about though. This is about the fact that I spent all my time watching spooky movies to make jewelry because I can't sit still and I love to multitask. And lately I've been going through kind of a style cycle where I'm going back to dressing how I did when I was 14 and really into vampire aesthetics and stuff. I'm actually really proud of this shirt that I'm wearing right now. It was a pair of spiderweb tights that I just cut a hole off and cut the sleeves and the thumbs, and now I have this really cool spiderweb long sleeve layering piece and I love it so much. But yeah, basically I've just been getting really back into my spooky roots, back into wanting to look like a vampire and that kind of thing. And a while ago I had DIY'd my spooky jewelry box, and I figured it was only appropriate to fill it with spooky and some cutesy and pastel, but mostly spooky jewelry that I made. So I wanted to show just kind of some really easy DIY ideas for jewelry. I'll just go through everything I made and then insert little clips of me making it over talking about how I made it. A lot of them were not making jewelry from scratch, it was putting beads on things or attaching clips to earrings, so it's all very simple stuff like that. But the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that you can buy packs of Halloween themed charms or moon themed charms or skeleton hands or spiders or bats or crosses or whatever the F you want. You can buy one of those for $5–10 bucks with 40 charms in it, and you can make a ton of jewelry, necklaces, earrings, little accessories to put on your jackets and stuff. You can make so much stuff out of one little bag of Halloween charms and a thing of chain and a couple of pieces of wire and stuff. It is so much worth doing that and spending a couple afternoons making some jewelry than buying each piece individually for $10, $15, $20 each or whatever it is you normally spend on jewelry. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of shout out the fact that buying charms in bulk is a thing, and there's lots of places you can do it online. Craft stores are the biggest place that I'd recommend, and also just going to the thrift store and looking for pieces that you can repurpose. For instance, I went to the thrift store today and I found this necklace with all these black shiny beads, and they feel very 80s, and I'm gonna turn them into one longer thing. Or I found this with all these beautiful pastel pearly beads that I'll either use in dolls or in another piece, kind of like this that I put on my mannequin next to me, but these kind of pastel rosary kind of things that I've been making. But yeah, the thrift store is a treasure trove. The craft store is a treasure trove. If neither of those are available in your area, Amazon, though I hate it, has unfortunately some really good stuff on there, and so does AliExpress, which also questionable, but has some really good stuff on there. So if you are on a budget for jewelry and stuff, but you want to make a ton of stuff and you want to be creative, I would highly recommend looking into those things. Without further ado, let's look at the things that I made. So let's start with the fact that I got really into making these kind of rosary type things. So for the longest time I've had this one, and I've never worn it because A, it wouldn't fit me, and B, it's meant for praying, and I'm not Christian. I am kind of an atheistic pagan, if you're interested in that. But yeah, basically not my thing. It was my grandma's, but I just think it's so beautiful. I think the shape of these sort of necklaces is so beautiful, and I wanted to make some of my own kind of rosary style necklaces, but I intentionally used a different amount of beads because it's very specific. There's this whole pattern, so in all of them, and all of my kind of rosaries that I made it kind of off a little number to keep it distant from that. Not that it matters to anyone else. I think people might see it and be like, oh, that person's probably wearing a rosary, but it matters to me, so I don't know, whatever. So let's start with this one that's super fun. A long time ago at Michael's, I bought a thing of plastic star beads. It was this giant plastic bag, and I have used so many of those plastic star beads in this. So it is this black beaded kind of rosary style necklace, and it has this big old bat charm at the bottom that I freaking love, and I dangled 3 beads down, and then this silver tooth charm, which I see so many people making jewelry with these tooth charms. You can just buy these tooth charms yourself and make whatever you want with them. Yeah, this is like this really awesome, in my opinion, like kind of bat style rosary. It's wonderful for layering because I've been really back into these sort of like more 80s goth aesthetics that I was into when I was younger, and revisiting that has just been so much fun for me, such like an inspiration style treasure trove. So I wanted to make this necklace, and the best part about these is that you can DIY the little metallic chain link things, which in my opinion, because it takes so long, it can just make like this awesome project for if you want to like sit down and watch some old movies. I was watching Dracula. It was so much fun to just like black and white, spooky atmosphere. Oh my god, and I'm tangled again. If you're like me and you like to sit down and do tiny detail work with your hands for hours on hours while like something plays in the background, making your own kind of like chains out of wires for this kind of jewelry is like super fun, because yeah, all of these just like pinched off the wire, made it myself, super fun. So I got really interested in that process. Alright, so for this first one I'm using these eye pins and the needle nose part of my pliers and these black plastic beads, basically just curling the end of the eye pin after putting the bead inside of it. Unfortunately, the beads that I used, like the hole was way too big, so I had to have like an extra spacer between them to connect them, otherwise they would all like kind of fall down onto each other. So I ended up finding these tiny jump rings that I had from forever ago and using them kind of in between each eye pin. It was a bit of a pain, but you know, it's the first one, you live and you learn. The rest of them I just use beads with a smaller hole in them, but regardless, all I do is make all these kind of chain links together with the star beads, and when I have enough of them done, I can start like to connect them together using the jump rings in between. So you can see a little chain of them starting here. And then I also have these round beads. These are just like plastic, glass, I don't really know, from different times in my life, and I'm using this leftover chain to kind of make them be a little dangly between each other. I'm using the same technique with the eye pins and my pliers. And I'm also using this bat charm that I got in a batch of Halloween charms as like sort of the rosary connector. It's really helpful because it has 2 portions on the top of the wings and 1 on the bottom, so it fits perfectly with a rosary style necklace. And at the very bottom of the dangling chain, I'm adding this tooth charm that I got online. So after I made the black one with the stars, I also made this really cool red one that has these beads that kind of remind me of blood, and the charm at the bottom is this black acrylic crow skull, and it's super awesome because ages and ages ago I found all these really pretty glass beads at the thrift store, and they just were like in this big bag, and it was like $5 for like just like all different colors of glass beads, and they'd just been like sitting in my craft room. I squirreled them away years ago, and I finally had an interest in making jewelry, trying to do something with these, and I just like love this so much. It feels so vampire-y and elegant and like, I don't know, religious, but like in a spooky, creepy way, not in like the regular way, which to be fair is like what kind of drew me to religion and stuff when I was younger. I like really, I would read all these like mythology books about the saints and stuff, and it all like seemed like so fantastical and mystical and mythological and creepy, and like that was what really like drew me to be interested in that kind of thing. And then learning, I don't know, growing up and learning more about it, I was like, okay, not really for me. Regardless, love how this one turned out. And then to make kind of a layering piece for that one, I made a shorter one with similar beads, but just like so it hangs a little lower so I can layer 2. And on this one I put this tiny bat charm, which I love. I use this bat charm a lot in pieces that I made, so I can be like matchy with like my earrings and my necklace, or my 2 necklaces with similar bat charms, that kind of thing. Making the red rosary style necklace was pretty much the exact same as the black one. I just basically didn't have to use the connector beads in the center. I could use the eye pins and just attach eye pin to eye pin. This made the process a lot easier and quicker, so if you can avoid that and use beads with a small enough hole, I would recommend doing that. And then this one's lovely in my opinion. So with the beads that I found in the bag was these like pink beads, which I just think are so pretty. For the dividers, I used these fake pearls, and yeah, it was just like really fun for me to just like sit there and like bend all the little wires and make the little connector things. I also added chains to this one and the aforementioned teeth charms because like with the pink color I wanted something like extra spooky on it. And then, okay, this one I feel like conflicted about because I put a cross on it, but it's technically a cross on a coffin, which feels different to me than just like if I put a regular cross on it. But regardless, this is a resin charm that I got with a bunch of different resin charms like this one. Really, really enjoy this piece. It just feels like so Pastel Goth, Maroot, creepy cute, whatever you want to call it. I just really, really enjoy it. And when I get back into like my pink goth phase instead of my like red spooky vampire phase, I think that this will come in handy. And then if you don't want to make all the chains and links and stuff yourself, you can also just like get a black beaded, this one's like pretty much like Mardi Gras beads probably, but I've had this forever, plastic beaded necklace, and then I got this choker from AliExpress, but for some reason I just like didn't like how it sat or something, so I took the charm off, which was this one, and then attached it to this claspy thing that I got at Michael's forever ago, and then put that on a ring and then attached it to this, and it's like one of my favorite layering pieces. I've been wearing it all the time. Super cute. Really, really love it. Other necklaces that I made. This one was a lot of fun. This one is basically just a piece of black lace because I'd made a necklace like this before, but I made it kind of corset up in the back, which makes it really annoying to put on and take off. So with this one, I just sewed the ribbon to the side so I can just like lace it up myself. But it's just a piece of lace that I attached a bunch of chains to, and I also put the black kind of crow skull, bird skull charm at the bottom. It's just like that black acrylic, and I think this looks like so spooky and a little bit corny, cheesy, but like I really, really like it. It does make me feel like a little bit of like an elegant vampire, but like in a cartoon movie, which is my favorite kind of like spooky vibes. So that's a lot of fun. First, I am cutting a piece of lace that will fit around my neck, and then I'm taking this leftover chain and arranging it, playing with the design until I get one that makes sense and will dangle in a way that I find pleasing. Once I'm happy with the placement of it, I use these little jump rings and a pair of pliers to attach the chain to a loop in the lace and in the jump ring. I attach it on all 3 points. And then I wanted an extra layer of chain, so I attach an extra one on both sides outside of it. And then for one more dangly bit, I use one really long chain and attach this little acrylic crow charm to it. Ooh, this one's fun. I thought blood vial necklaces, okay? So this one is not made with real blood. I made this one with just like water and food coloring, and I think it looks so fun and spooky. Put like a cross on it and like a dagger and like a bat, so it's kind of like a vampire hunter almost kind of vibe I wanted to do. I almost was gonna make a tiny clove of garlic out of clay, but I just didn't get around to that part. It might come in the future, but for now it's really enjoyable. I've had this vial forever. I think it might be actually like a perfume. You know those like perfume samples that you can get sometimes, and then I just like had a tiny cork for it, but you can get these glass vials. I have like a huge collection of them. You get them at the craft store, you find them in the thrift store really often. Yeah, this feels just like a really fun, spooky layering necklace. Originally I tried to do this mixture where I used cornstarch and water and food coloring, but it separated really weird and it made the blood like kind of weird and like pale, if that makes sense, and I just really prefer just using the water and the food coloring. I might have to refill it over time. That's okay with me, not the biggest deal at all. That's a lot of fun. So I'm mixing some cornstarch with some water and red food coloring. I don't recommend this because it makes it like gloopy and weird, so in the future I would just use water and regular food coloring, then capping it and attaching a little eye pin so I can string it on a chain. I'm attaching all these little different chain charms that are various bats and Halloween themed things either directly onto the chain or onto the bottle itself, and then just stringing the whole thing through one long piece of chain. Speaking of multi-charm necklaces, I've always been really into like, you know, charm bracelets, not the ones, I mean also the ones with like the little squares, but the ones that have like actual little dangly charms coming off of them. And I don't really wear bracelets that much, mostly because of the pandemic and how much I've been washing my hands and that kind of thing. So I made some like charm necklaces that are kind of like choker length, and this one's like vampire themed a little bit. So it has like this blood red tiny bead on it, a dagger, these like vampire lips, the coffin charm, a bat charm from a bat charm bag, the silver tooth from the silver tooth bag, and this tiny silver skull, which you can find lots of tiny skulls at craft stores, hobby shops, stuff like that. So I'm starting with just a piece of chain that I have measured to be vaguely the length of my neck, and I'm just playing around with different charms that I have that are Halloween themed and vampire-y and etc., until I find a configuration that makes sense, that I like and I think would look good. I'm using just little jump rings to attach all the little charms in place, and I just count the length of the chain to make sure that they're evenly spaced apart. I have to use a safety pin to attach the skull charm because it was too big to fit on a jump ring on its own, but attaching the safety pin worked out pretty well. And once all the charms are on, I just attach it to findings and we're good to go. So this is like kind of the vampire charm necklace, and then in a similar vein I also made kind of like more traditional Halloween charm necklace. So it's got the tooth again, but also a tiny really cute witch on a broomstick. She's like just like a little chibi witch almost, and I love that. Bat upside down, this spider web with a spider on it, a spider by itself, a little pumpkin, I love how cute that pumpkin is, and then a little broomstick. So these are both just like cute little charm necklaces that was like very easy and fun to do. And then this one was kind of just to show super affordable craft that like really easy to do, which is just to put beads on a safety pin. You can glue it shut with hot glue if you're worried about it coming undone, and then attaching O-rings to it to make like kind of a little necklace. I just think that putting like the little beads of like identity flags and stuff on safety pins is such a cute little thing, so I thought it'd be nice to put it on a little necklace, again as a layering piece because I love just like layering a bunch of necklaces on top of each other. So I'm starting by cutting a piece of chain to be a good choker length for me, and then taking a safety pin and these different star beads that are the non-binary flag colors, putting them in order and clipping them onto the pin. You could glue this shut if you're worried about it opening, but I'm live on the wild side, you know? Then I'm attaching some jump rings to both sides of the safety pin so that it can be as a necklace. And to make it easier to open and close, I'm just cutting the back of it open and attaching a little clasp and a jump ring on one end and the other end, so it makes it just a little quicker of a process to take on and put off. Okay, I think I've talked in previous videos about my like fascination with like rave culture and candy and like bracelets and candy trading and like that kind of thing. So I made some kind of inspired bracelets of that. I didn't use like pony beads in any of them really, but I still think they're really cute. Most of them I like spelled out cute little words, and I did them in all different colors. I made like some more spooky colored ones, but also some pastel ones that match with this whole set, which I'll talk about in a second. But let's go through my spooky bracelets first. So we got two in the classic Halloween colors. This one says Trick or Treat, and it's got orange and black stars and a little pumpkin patch charm, which I think is adorable. And this one says Hocus Pocus. Funnily enough, I watched Trick or Treat and Hocus Pocus while making these bracelets, so that was a lot of fun. And I put a little pumpkin on it, a little jack-o'-lantern, and these orange beads, which are like some of the glass beads that I found in that whole lump long ago. And then I have this red and black bracelet that says Bite Me, and it has these little star beads, and it feels all like corny vampire, and I love that. And then this one just says Spooky, and it has those little silver metal skulls, which, like, to be fair, are very heavy, so it's like kind of fun. But it's black and white beads, and I just like love putting like spiky bracelets with also like cute like star bracelets and like that kind of thing. This one, I love Rocky Horror Picture Show, so I wanted to have a kind of homage to that. This one says Creature of the Night, and I put a little tooth charm on it, and it's from that scene. But regardless, I really like this phrase, and I really like it on a bracelet, so I made it on this like purple and black bracelet. And then to go with the purple and black bracelet, I did this one that just says Boo. This one has a little Spidey on it, and black and purple beads, and also these like little silver beads that I had from forever ago, which is a lot of fun. And then we'll talk about my pastel stuff that was super fun to make. So I have all of these like pastel beads from like when I was making all my dolls and stuff, and I still plan to make more dolls. I've just been really focused on other creative projects lately. So I made some kind of like cute pastel colored beads. This one says Creepy, and it has these little hearts and little stars, and yeah, these hearts are like big and holographic, and they're so pretty, and I really like them. And then this one just has like random stars and flowers and other hearts and things like that. This one says Monster, and it has kind of like a little cute pastel rainbow theme going on. and this one says macabre, and it's also got like a star pastel rainbow theme. It almost has like the trans colors down here, but that wasn't intentional. I just happen to have a lot of pastel cutesy beads. Which brings us to, I made these to go with the fact I'm in all of the pieces on this. Thought it'd be really cute to have some sort of like pastel rosaries, but instead of doing the uniform beads, I wanted it to be really scattered, and I wanted to kind of like mix that like childhood innocence with like the creepy like thing and the religion and the it's all very, what was that thing on Tumblr that everyone was doing where they take pictures of like creepy baby dolls and like empty birthday party rooms, and it was all like very like off-white. It's very that, you know, but I like it a lot. So this is the longest one. Again, so fun to make all the little chain links individually. It's literally one of my favorite hobbies, and I literally told Cage, I was like, I need to stop making necklaces because I can't have this many necklaces, but it's so much fun. It's like hard, but regardless, this really pretty pastel one with the crow skull, it was the longest one, and I figured if you have one, you might as well get two others to layer on top of it. So another pastel one. This one has a tooth at the bottom, very cute, a little bit shorter, lovely to layer with. And then the shortest one has a bat, and I can't resist, I might make an even shorter one, just like a really choker length one tonight, because I want to make more jewelry. It's so hard. Okay, so I did end up making another necklace, but it was not a choker. It was like another rosary. But here's the exciting thing, you guys. So I freaking love troll dolls, if you know me and early days of my channel. I freaking love troll dolls. I had like one of my earliest videos was like my troll doll collection. I freaking love these little guys. They're the best. And I wanted to make like a rosary with a troll. So this is what I ended up doing, and I love it. And I'm really excited to wear it with like some kind of clown core outfits, because I love clown stuff and troll stuff and all this kind of like pastel magical stuff. So yeah, very excited. Oh yeah, and he was originally a ring. I just broke off the ring part of it because it was already broken and punctured a hole in the head. So yeah, all good. And then to use up some pieces and to make matching earrings and to fill out my time, I made these really cute little ones. So you've got like a pearl and then this holographic little heart charm and then the little tooth charm, and super cute, super fun. I think they all just like look really aesthetic and pastel together. And then this isn't really that much of a DIY, but I had this choker that I didn't wear that often, and I just attached this big spider charm to it, and I just feel like I'll wear it more now. It feels like really badass and really cute, and I like it a lot. I just attached it with some jump rings, so it wasn't like really that much of a DIY, but that's so fun. I love it. Okay, and then I made a couple of hair clips, which was a lot of fun. So I've always really loved those like skeleton hand hair clips. I think I had a pair from forever ago, but they also had blood spatters on them or something, and I just like didn't wear them that often. So at Halloween, I found this bag of like plastic skeleton hands, so I used them, and then little clippies on the back, and now I have my own little like cute early 2000s like spiderweb hair clips, or skeleton hand hair clips. I just think it's so cute. I love that so much. So I'm taking these skeleton hands from the dollar store, and after I've sprayed them with some Mr. Super Clear matte spray, I'm taking some white acrylic paint and a little paintbrush and just doing a big layer all over them. Once it's fully dry, I do another layer because the first one is a little bit opaque. Then I take a little bit of Mod Podge or some sort of sealant, whatever works. You could use a spray-on one if you prefer, and a bigger paintbrush, and then just applying a very liberal coat all over it. I just want it to be nice and protected. Then I use an X-Acto knife and some scissors, because the X-Acto knife wasn't very successful, to cut the little tab that was attached to them off. This may or may not be necessary depending on your skeleton hands. And then a piece of hot glue and a little clip will turn them into a hair clip. And yeah, that's it. It's really easy. Put them together and we're good to go. And then a YouTuber that I freaking love is Toxic Tears, and she has, I don't know if it's a hair clip or what, but sometimes she has like a spider in her hair, and it looks so cool, and I love that so much. So I had these like plastic Halloween rings, you know, the like spider rings and bat rings and that kind of thing. So I took some of those, and I just think it's so cute to have like little cute silver spiders in my hair. I was thinking of also making them like maybe in pink and in black and in like different colors, because depending on what color my hair is, like the silver may or may not contrast very nicely. But yeah, I can also make like stripey ones or polka dot or whatever. The sky's the limit. So first I spray the spiders with some matte spray so everything sticks to them better. Then using some silver acrylic paint, painting a layer of silver over them. Once they dry, I do another layer because one is never quite enough, and then I use some scissors to chop off the ring part of the ring, so now they're just spiders. And then I just take my hot glue gun and a little hair clip that I got at the dollar store, and voila, attached we have spider hair clips. I was trying like maybe not to cram too many things into this video, but I have a bunch of earrings to go through. These are all pretty simple though to make, so I'll just like kind of whiz through them as much as possible. My favorite pair is these, I think they're possum spine earrings. So I got this possum spine, or yeah, I think that's what it's from, but it might be something different. But regardless, I traded for it on Tumblr years ago. I gave someone a bunch of quartz crystals and they sent me a bunch of small skeleton pieces, and one of the things that I made with them was these earrings. Normally I'm really scared about wearing bones as jewelry because I'm worried about breaking them and they're like very special and stuff, but I think that with earrings they tend to get a lot less abuse than my necklaces or my rings or like stuff like that, so this feels relatively safe considering I'm a very, very clumsy person. My ears feel the safest of all the spots. Really, really love them though. I think they're gorgeous, and I wanted to keep them pretty simple because I wanted the bone to be the main feature. So for the bone earrings, there's not really a succinct way to describe this one because it's gonna really depend on the type of bone you have and the structure of them. These ones had a little hole on two sides that was super perfect for wrapping the wire into to make it extra secure, but you're just gonna wanna use the natural shape of the bone and be very gentle and use your wire to get a shape that you can kind of copy on both sides. Then a couple of pieces of chain and a jump ring, and then attaching the fish hook earring to the top of it so that we can wear them as earrings, and I think they're just really simple and beautiful. The next earrings I assembled, because let's be honest, this isn't making things, this is just like assembling, kind of, in my opinion. I mean, whatever, it's fine. Regardless, these ones have this like little red bead and these little bats from this bag of bats, but they almost remind me of gargoyles, so it's really fun. And the thing that's nice about these ones is that they look good on both sides, but they're also different on both sides. They have like a back and a front, which I think is really nice. These ones are really straightforward. I'm just combining a eye pin on some red bead so it looks like a drop of blood, attaching a fish hook earring to that, closing it with the jump ring and some pliers, and then putting this little silver bat charm from a bag of Halloween charms at the bottom. And these ones, I don't know why these ones remind me of Elvira. Maybe because at the end of her movie she has like that whole like spider striptease number, which I love. They're just like these little spiders in spider webs, again from a bag of like bulk Halloween charms. For these ones, I'm literally just taking a jump ring and attaching it to the charm and then to the fish hook earring. Nothing more, nothing less. Very simple. Seriously, it's that easy sometimes to make these pieces. These ones are sort of matchy-matchy to go with the pink rosary with the pearls that I showed earlier, but they are just these little like pink resin coffins with these little pearl earrings, and they just like feel like that perfect mixture of like creepy, cute, and like doll-like almost in a way, like, but like creepy dolls, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just like love pretty, creepy things, and or just like generally pretty things, but also creepy things. Everything's so good. I love it. Okay. For these ones, I'm just taking an eye pin, or you could use a piece of wire if you didn't have one, and a faux pearl from the dollar store, twisting the top of the pin so that the bead can be held in place. Then I'm taking a jump ring and attaching that to the bead, and then attaching that to the little resin coffin charm, closing the jump ring on that, and then just attaching a fish hook earring at the top. I think these are really simple, but again, really cute, and I love how sparkly the resin charms are. Another pair of those like coffin earrings, these ones I attached on a longer chain so they can dangle a fair amount, since I love dangly earrings. And they're pretty cool because I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but they're actually like almost iridescent and green with like these gorgeous little really delicate green sparkles in them, and it's just really pretty. I don't know if any of it is catching light, but take my word for it, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. I think these are really pretty. So for these ones, I'm taking some resin coffin charms and a little piece of chain, counting out a good length that I would like them to dangle down and cutting that piece of chain. Then I just use a jump ring to attach those guys together and then attach that to the fishhook earring. These ones are very simple, but man, I thought that I preferred like fully round beads versus like when they have the little facets, but the facets actually like catch the light so nice on these in my opinion. But they're just like these really like dark, almost blood red beads on this little spider web with the spider on it hanging down. These little Fang earrings. These ones might be my favorite. I've been wearing them probably the most, at least lately. I just think they're so cute. They're so fun. Look at those little fangs. For these guys, I'm just taking a little fang charm, a piece of chain, a jump ring, and combining the three of them. I mean, you get the idea by now. It's all very simple, but effective, in my opinion. And then these are really, really simple. Basically, I got some necklace cord a while back for chokers because I love wearing just like really thin black chokers. They remind me of just like being like a 90s movie girl. I'm not in the 90s or a girl or in a movie, but hey, let someone dream, right? Just kidding. But anyway, this one's the one I've been wearing the most. It's got this little bat charm. For this one, I just used a jump ring, a bat charm, and then put them on a pre-made leather choker. Faux leather choker. Very simple. And yeah, you can just buy like multi-packs of these fake leather choker things, or you can make them yourself. This one just has like a purple crystal. This was from like Hot Topic, I think, years ago. It was like you buy a choker and it has like all these different crystal attachments on it, and this was one of them, and I loved it, but I loved a different one more, so I never used it, and now I can finally use it, and it just like feels so pretty. It's like a floating crystal, very early 2000s, but I don't care, I love it. And then this one's fun. This one's just a cute little broomstick. A little like cartoon broomstick almost. Love that. For me. Hello? Hello? Okay. So, yeah, I'll probably, in the meantime, have hopefully cut in pictures on the mannequin or little DIY videos of how I made them, hopefully, fingers crossed. But regardless, yeah, I hope that maybe gave some inspiration to make some fun jewelry. It's seriously just like so cool if you have the time and the resources to just like sit down and take an afternoon and make some spooky, cute, fun things with like a bag of like multi-pack charms and like a couple of different like thrifted pieces of jewelry, and like just like see what you can rearrange and combine and make yourself. It's a ton of fun in my opinion. And you could get really complicated and make, I'm sure, like super beautiful, intensely wire wrapped and macrame and this and that things, or you could just like put some pony beads on some bracelets and make like some cute weird little like pretty poorly wrapped but still we do what we can sort of pieces, and it can be a lot of fun. So yes, with that, I will stop taking up so much of your time. I really appreciate you watching to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, that's all I got for today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this, and I hope you are very kind to yourself and give yourself a big hug from me. Okay, see you later. Have a good one. Bye!